The heroes of the Three Kingdoms. Powerful leaders, warriors and tacticians, they are a focal point of the upcoming Total War Three Kingdoms. But there's more to these powerhouses than their simple military prowess. Their hero type will affect different areas of your campaign and battles, from your economy, your government, your units, amongst other things. So in this video I'll attempt to explain this to you so you can be a little bit more ready for Three Kingdoms. Let us begin by taking a look at the Three Kingdoms version of the Wu Xing, a system used for describing the relationships and interactions between different elements. The outermost ring tells you what unit type relates to what element, such as archers, spearmen and shock cav. The second ring in tells you the different hero types, strategist, champion, vanguard. The third ring in tells you what characteristic governs their hero type, and while they will have a little bit of everything, they'll have most of whatever their colour is. So a commander who's yellow will have a lot of authority and varying amounts of the remaining characteristics. And the fourth ring in is more to do with your government, population and economy, such as industry, trade and peasantry. And the last two rings tell you which elements support each other and which ones destroy each other. So when it comes to using your heroes in battle or in government, their different hero types are going to be useful for different things, and their retinues will want to be made up of the units that they best support. So as you can see, Vanguard hero Xiahou Yuan is of the fire element or red colouring. So he's going to provide bonuses to those shock cavalry units, making them stronger, buffing them, making them more effective under his Vanguard command. And then as you can see, the champion is of the green colouring, so he's best with spears, and the strategist in blue is best for the ranged components, the archers and the artillery. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of the harmony that needs to go on between your heroes and your units to make them both the most effective they can be. If you had the Vanguard hero Xiahou Yuan with all archers in his retinue, they're still going to be able to blast things down, but just not as well as if they're under a strategist's command. So hopefully that makes some sense. Now let's take a look at a couple of specific examples with specific heroes. So, legendary Commander Liu Bei. A commander is great for what you might expect, leading the troops, giving extra leadership to the army and the people of your cities, generally a great leader. Authority is his governing stat of course, so he has a ton of that, and you can see the different effects that he has on the various different areas of your army and your population. And the commander's unit type is melee cav, so you can see he gives minus upkeep to all melee cav units in his retinue. He also affects different areas of government. Zhang Fei, a vanguard hero, great for fighting in crowds, not so good at taking on enemy heroes but fantastic at chopping down masses of troops. Instinct is his governing trait, you can see he's got a lot more of that than anything else. You can see his massive amount of instinct gives a lot of extra melee damage to his retinue, charge bonus, minus upkeep for shock cavalry, which is of course his unit type, and affects the military buildings in your commanderies. On to Guan Yu, the champion hero type, a legendary champion at that. Champions great for taking on other heroes, great for dueling. They have a lot of resolve, you can see plus 85 health for Guan Yu, which makes him quite a tanky monster. A lot of armor, minus upkeep for the spear infantry, and he's going to be able to recruit all the best spear infantry. Other hero types won't be able to get certain spear units, only he'll be able to get them, and the same with all the different unit types across all the hero types. Sentinel, which is of more of kind of a purpley colour. This is not a legendary one, this is just a regular old guy, but he's got some expertise, being his highest stat. You can see it affects his melee evasion, his upkeep for sword and shield infantry, he affects the economy buildings. Hopefully you're starting to see the pattern here and understand that all these different traits govern the different things for different heroes and unit types, if that makes any sense. And lastly, we've got our strategists, who much like wizards in Warhammer are pretty fragile and you have to be careful with them in battle. They will get taken down pretty quick. Cunning is their governing stat, and they can also provide different tactics to units in battle, so they can teach spears how to go into spear wall and different formations and things like that. And they give buffs to your archers, and you can see there plus 85% ammunition for his retinue, which is pretty huge. Extra damage, minus upkeep, all the things that make the strategist best for getting the artillery and missiles in his retinue. So that's a rough idea of how things work in terms of your heroes and the traits and how it affects units. And again, he'll be able to recruit the best archers, the vanguard will be able to recruit the best shock cavalry, etc. So there's some idea of how heroes work in Three Kingdoms, in battles and in campaign. Of course this stuff is subject to change to some degree, but this will give you a good starting point for getting into Three Kingdoms when it does eventually drop. I hope you've enjoyed this, I thank you for watching, I will see you in the future.